It's your Power Breakfast with Archie and Donny here on Power 100. And Donny, it is crunch time in the NBL. Of course, we've got the NBL 1 here with the heat and the flames and the fire in the WNBL, but it is crunch time in our National Basketball League.
Absolutely. Coming into round 20, me and Archie, we keep across it, but who better to ask some questions about the NBL than someone who played 22 seasons, 7-time NBL MVP, 2 NBL championships, 5 Olympic Games, Australian Basketball Hall of Fame, and FIBA Hall of Fame as well. Andrew Gaze, how are you?
Good morning. Yeah, I'm going nice, and you're spot on. It's an exciting end of the NBL season, and even at this point as we talk, we're not 100% who's actually going to figure in a playoff, or as they call it these days, play-in basketball.
So, Andrew, the big result on the weekend was the Sydney Kings going down. Their finals chances are on a knife's edge. What are your predictions going into the last match day?
Yeah, it was an interesting game at home, packed crowd up about 14,000 against the Illawarra Hawks, and unfortunately, they haven't been able to get it done. They've really struggled this year in the latter stages of the season, and as such, they're on the outside looking in. Now, that's not to say that they can't make it, but they've got some heavy lifting to do, and I think that any time you're in a situation where you're going into the last round of the season and you're relying on other people, it's never great. But the only good news for them is that they should be able to pick up the win. They play the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, who are completely decimated with 4 of their starters not playing. So it should be a win. But having said that, it was like, 2 or 3 weeks ago, Sydney lost a game to the Phoenix. So who knows?
It seems like it's an absolute shootout. Who do you have really coming out on top of this? Because Sydney, if they sneak in, obviously their chance is probably not as great as some of the guys up the top of the table. I know it's still early on and anything can happen in the playoffs, but who do you have a favourite going in for?
I mean, if he doesn't say Melbourne, he might be crucified, right, Andrew?
No, not at all. But I think it's a 3-team race. I think it's Melbourne, Perth or Tasmania, and they are actually 1, 2 and 3 on the ladder. But I think that they are playing the best basketball. I actually liked the New Zealand Breakers. Now, I know they lost to Melbourne yesterday, but I've gone a little cold on them since Anthony Lamb, who is a superstar, in fact, an MVP candidate. He snapped his Achilles last week, so he's out, and that's a big hole for the Breakers. Finn Delaney's come back in. He's missed a big chunk of the season. He plays for the New Zealand national team and is a very experienced player, but I think that they're actually still another team that's in a real battle just to make the play-ins. But I think you can't really go past Melbourne United. This competition is so tight that and so even that when you get a team like United who's only lost 7 games all season, it'd be foolish to chip past them. And also the fact that in a grand final series, it's a best of 5. So to see someone beating them 3 games when they've only lost 7 all season, it's a little unlikely.
Could I put you on the spot, Andrew? Out of all the breakthroughs this season, who's the player to watch for you in the latest season of the NBL?
Well, I think there are a lot. I think we've seen some of my favourites, of course. Bryce Cotton is a superstar, but has been for some time. Parker Jackson Cartwright for the Breakers. He has been a sensation. He's a human blur on the court. He can score. I think he leads the league in assists, or he certainly was after last round's games. He's an absolute superstar. I also, if you're thinking of the top teams this year, if you look at the Melbourne United, 2 of the players that have been critical for them are Joe Luala-Chul, who has had a career high just a couple of weeks ago. He's a big guy. Versatile at both ends of the floor. And one of the veterans, Chris Golding, he has had a sensational season. He's shooting the ball lights out from the perimeter, and he's a real fun player to watch. But every one of these teams that eventually get into the play-in / playoffs, they've got stars all over the joint. And probably the team that's a little surprising is the Brisbane Bullets up your neck of the woods. I know it's still a fair distance, but up there, your neck of the woods, with Nathan Sovey is having a I shouldn't say breakout year, but he's having one of his best seasons ever in the NBL. from where I stand anyway. And it's coincidental that his two highest scoring seasons have come the year before an Olympics or an Olympic team is about to be selected. So there might be something in that.
Now, look, before you go, Andrew, it's a crunch time in the NBL. We're excited about that. But you actually just hit a bit of a nerve with us, mentioning that the Bullets are kind of up our neck of the woods. Now, Andrew, we don't have a team in the NBL. And here's the thing, right? Now, you've got a great relationship with the naming rights sponsor of the NBL. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's Hungry Jacks. Is that right?
Yes, Hungry Jacks and the founder, Jack Cowan, good friend of mine. Well, I call him a friend. I don't know if he calls me a friend, but he's a friend of mine, and he's a terrific fellow who's supported the NBL over a long, long period of time with Hungry Jacks.
Okay, well, Andrew, we need to tell you about something, right? We've got a bit of a bargaining chip up our sleeve with Hungry Jacks.
Right.
So, are you aware there was a cyclone in Townsville a couple of weeks ago?
I am, and my heart goes out, and hopefully people are recovering. As certainly, we have. It was devastating to hear the news, and hopefully it hasn't caused too much of a disruption, and you're well on the way to recovery.
Well, the good news was there wasn't too much disruption. However, something in particular did happen up our neck of the woods. One of the Hungry Jack sign from one of the stores here in Mungdingborough fell down. And
oh dear.
Where some people saw devastation, there's some other people, namely those that host this breakfast show, saw a bit of an opportunity, Andrew.
I love it.
So with the help of our listeners, we've collected all the pieces of the sign. We have a full Hungry Jack sign here. And we're using it as a bargaining chip.
Because we want to give it back.
We do want to give it back. Right. Obviously, it's not our sign. I mean, we're just taking care of it right now. But in our opinion, we feel...
like there'd be some rules that would require you to return that. But anyway, carry on.
We feel like the fairest option here, the best option for everyone involved would be we give Hungry Jacks their sign back, and they work out a way to give us the Crocs back.
The Townsville Crocs, Andrew.
Yes. Well, that would be I think fantastic. We love going up there and playing against you. Well, this is how old I am. They were called the Suns back when I first were playing in there, and then they went to the Crocs. And I think that is a more than a fair trade.
There we go.
A little bit of slight handedness, and perhaps some may call it blackmail, but I think that there's some real strong merit in that because it's a win-win for everyone. They get their much-valued sign. The community gets their much-valued Crocs that can go on and represent the city throughout the nation.
Andrew,
perfect scenario.
When you say it, it just makes much more sense than when we say it. And it just carries so much weight now that you get it. Like if Andrew Gaze gets it, the most decorated basketball player in our wonderful country, it just makes sense. Now, I just want to say, you did mention you might have a bit of a relationship with Jack Cowan there, Andrew. I mean, how do we open up that address book in your phone to start those conversations?
Well, like I said, I'm not sure he's going to pop up in his phone book, but certainly when our paths cross, we say g'day, and we do go back a long, long way. So he's a terrific man, and the next time I see him, I'll say, the boys on the Becky Show up in Townsville have got something in this hand. You have something. There's something in this hand that perhaps if you can sort of get something in this hand, then we all can go home with.
Then there's no problems. Like nothing happened. Oh, mate, we've got Andrew Gaze's endorsement. We cannot wait to see what happens at the end of the NBL season. Of course, you can catch it on Fox Sports. You can catch it on KO. This man hosts the show every single week. And look, we hope to speak to you again soon, Andrew. Maybe once the play-in starts, we'll get another update to find out what's the latest in the NBL. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
No worries, boys. It's great fun. Good luck. Good luck with those Crocs. Let's hope we see them back in the league soon.
Bring back the Crocs.
Bring them back.